Welcome back to the channel. This is Anna's Thoughts and Musical Parodies, and I am Anna, your hostess. Thank you so much for being here today.
It was a day many of us had been waiting for. The jury had been deliberating for more than 40 hours, over 6 days, and there were times when we didn't even think that they were going to return a verdict, that there might be a hung jury. Ghislaine Maxwell didn't show much emotion when the verdict came in.
But the verdict came as a comfort to the victims and campaigners who have waited decades for justice.
A unanimous jury has found Ghislaine Maxwell guilty of one of the worst crimes imaginable: facilitating and participating in the sexual abuse of children. No one, no matter how powerful or well-connected, is above the law.
Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty. British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of recruiting teenage girls to be sexually abused by millionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The jury finding Ghislaine Maxwell guilty on 5 out of 6 charges she faced. Guilty. Ghislaine Maxwell guilty.
She stood there stony-faced as the jury read out the verdict. Guilty of 5 out of 6 counts of sex trafficking children. The courtroom reckoning that Jeffrey Epstein never had.
No one, no matter how powerful or well-connected, is above the law.
She likely faces years in prison.
Joining me now by phone is attorney Mercedes Colwin.
Not at all surprised, especially when you heard that some of the accusers actually took the stand and they're just recounting the horrors of what they went through at the hands of Ms. Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. It was clear that the jury was going in that direction. Obviously, that testimony really swayed the jury, so that was able to sustain a guilty verdict for the other charges.
You know, the defense here wanted to say this is about Jeffrey Epstein, not about Ghislaine Maxwell.
We firmly believe in Ghislaine's innocence. Obviously, we are very disappointed with the verdict. We have already started working on the appeal, and we are confident that she will be vindicated.
Well, clearly, the jury feels differently.
The jury didn't agree.
She likely faces years in prison.
So certainly that didn't resonate because with the testimony evidence that came in,
she likely faces years in prison.
At 60 years old, this is a hefty sentence. I mean, it's an effective life in prison for a 60-year-old. There were victims in the courtroom and in the overflow room too who were obviously relieved. I mean, some of them have been waiting decades for this day in court. And after Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's former boyfriend, died in prison in New York here, they thought that the justice would never come. So for them, it's an incredibly big day today.
Finding Ghislaine Maxwell guilty on 5 out of 6 charges she faced.
The jury were obviously, in the end, convinced by the strength of the testimony of the 4 accusers. You had 3 Americans, 1 British woman, and each of them came from incredibly different backgrounds. They had very similar stories, and I think while they were very complex federal charges that they were having to untangle to get to the decision, ultimately it appeared that they did believe the women who said that they were abused, not just by Epstein, but by Maxwell as well.
No one, no matter how powerful or well-connected, is above the law.
Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and share with somebody else who would also be interested. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you are in. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you next time. Bye.